Well, here it is, folks. Inktober 2023. Today is day 1, which is Dream, and I'm just going to dive right into it. I created this little title page and kind of sketched out some ideas, but then I decided to create a little character that I'm going to try to have him in all of the images in some way. So today is day 1, Dream. I penciled it in, kind of my little idea. And of course, I need to lighten the pencil as much as I can, and the best way to do that is with one of these erasers. So I went through and couldn't find my color swatch sheet that has these on there, and I'm going to be using cool grays for a large portion of the picture, and so I needed to make sure that I got them down so I knew what I was using before I put it down on the paper. That's always smart to do. Always have a color swatch sheet and test your colors before you put them on paper. But here I go, and I thought I would make part of this in black and white, just kind of all grays, monotone, and so I worked on that first. And what I'm noticing is that I think I just, due to inexperience with markers still, I mean, I've been using them for a couple of years, but they still take so much to get used to. And even if you are out of practice with using markers, it just takes some getting used to. So I'm really glad to do Inktober so I can kind of get back in the swing of that. And but pretty much the idea behind using alcohol markers is that you just keep building on it. And I used to think that they were the least, or they were the most unforgiving medium out there, but it really isn't. They are pretty forgiving, especially if you use, lighter shades and kind of build as you go. And you'd be surprised what you can get away with alcohol markers. So if you're a little hesitant about trying them, I would definitely not be, and just give it a try, because you'd be surprised what you can get away with. One thing I noticed is that my markers, I think, were either because they are dual side and so they don't necessarily sit right side up on both sides. It's like the ink had to pour out of there, and so there's some parts of this that drove me nuts because the ink wasn't super flowy and juicy, and so then I kept layering, and then I remembered to put my little protector sheet in there before I got any further because I didn't want it to leak onto the next page. Always do that too. If you're using alcohol markers, always use some sort of protective sheet in between because it will leak through. This is really good paper. My sketchbook is an Ohuhu sketchbook, and Ohuhu makes markers. I haven't tried them yet. I need to try them. But they're similar to the Copics and Copics, and so they it can take a lot of ink, but it will still leak through, especially with as many layers as I end up using. So then I come in here with a really fine liner and just start to put in some texture and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just gonna let some music play while you watch. I'm gonna try to do a video. I don't really know how ambitious that actually is. So I'm at least doing today's. No promises if I'm able to do the whole month, but we'll just take it one day at a time. I don't even know if I'll be able to finish this Inktober because it just feels like so intimidating, but here I'm going to give it a try. And if you've never done Inktober before, if you're really unfamiliar what it is, it's basically just a cool artist challenge where they put out a list every single year, and usually they do it one day at a time, and they give you the word on the day that you're supposed to draw. But this time they gave out the entire list for the whole month ahead of time, so that you know ahead of time and you can kind of get your wheels spinning. And so I've been trying not to cheat but I have been like just sketching out ideas, and then I'm going to ink it all together on each day. That has been very difficult for me. I haven't even come up with a lot of ideas for some of the days, but I'm just going to do my best, and that's all you can do. And the whole goal is to kind of get you to maybe draw things that you're not used to drawing, or, you know, it's really fun to watch and see what other artists create, because they come up with things that you maybe never thought of before, but it also gets you to draw something that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise ever thought to draw yourself. So it's kind of a fun little thing. I really enjoy drawing illustration type style drawings. I know that I've drawn a lot of like more realistic type things, but I love illustrating, and especially love like cross hatching and, you know, things like that I just have always adored in children's books and things like that. And I've illustrated a few children's books myself, and so I just absolutely adore illustrator style. And so that's what I'm gonna try to do, and try to be consistent as I can be, especially with when you draw a character, you have to draw this character doing different things and from different angles and stuff. Like, character development is really, really tough. It's really hard to be consistent with that, but doing a project like this really helps practice that. So that's kind of why I decided to use one character throughout the whole month for Inktober. So we'll see how that goes. And again, here I'm getting just so frustrated because it's just so not smooth, and so I'm going to go in here and just turn everything black and just keep going over it until it doesn't look so spotty. But if your markers look like that, there could be two reasons for that. It could be that it's drying out, but if you're not using alcohol markers, then it's probably going to be not very smooth. Like when you're using water-based type markers, like even like Crayola and that kind of thing, it's always going to be blotchy. But if you use alcohol ones, they spread out sort of, and they layer on top of each other really nicely. So that's the difference between like an alcohol marker and the kind of markers that maybe you grew up using as a kid. But anyway, all right, I'm done rambling. I'm gonna just let it play, and I'll have some music going and let you do it.
down. I'm gonna skip my breaks, I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars, I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me.